No Filter Sports. This is your host today, Trey Sean. And today, I'm back. Today we'll be talking about the NCAA tournament and where is where I see everything going, who we could be eliminated, and stuff like that. If you don't mind, hit the like, comment, subscribe button on YouTube. Give us a follow on TikTok and Instagram. And we will be launching a website soon and on Spotify, wherever you find podcasts. Let's get into the video. Um, so my first thoughts on the bracket here. The one seeds are Duke, Arizona, Michigan, and Florida. Get out. Get out. No, never mind. Don't worry about it. I figured that the one seeds, out of all the one seeds, Duke is the one that got screwed because they're not healthy and they might have the best player in the country, but if you're not on no bench, no depth come March Madness time, you're gonna get beat. And I think they will get beat in either the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight, and I just think the one seeds they're pretty good. Miami Ohio made it in as the first 14th team. I disagree with some of these, but we'll get into that one once we get there. I got Duke. Beating the 16 seed Siena. I ain't got to get into all that. Ohio State TCU. This game it's two of the hottest teams right now, and I think if Ohio State could have beat Michigan if they would have made their I watched that full game. I think Ohio State could have beat Michigan if they made their layups, and I think TCU is really good. If they on fire from three, I think TCU can win this game. But I will go with Ohio State winning this game by 4. St. John's, this won't be a matchup. St. John's, Kansas, I don't have to say too much about that one. Two teams that just know how to defend, play offense, stuff like that. I have South Florida beating Louisville because Louisville has been struggling on that ramp where they just been struggling. Let me pull up some stats so y'all know I'm not just trolling. They have been relatively struggling going into tournament time, and I think I don't think they're healthy. I don't think they're healthy right now, and I just think South Florida is just on a winning. They're hot at the right time, and I think this is the perfect time for upset. I got Michigan State. Even though I got Michigan State, Michigan State will beat South Florida, and UCLA, UCF. I got UCLA winning this game. They just hitting their strides at the right time to where come tournament time it's gonna pay off with Donovan Dent. UCF is just not playing their best basketball at the time, and I think that it's gonna still translate to playing UCLA, which I think UCLA will take advantage of and beat UCF. UConn over Furman. UConn, don't gotta say too much about them. It's just UConn. Okay. Duke, Ohio State. Whew. This is gonna be a tough one to pick. I got Duke winning barely. I got Duke winning barely. When I mean barely, because this will be a trap game. And I think Ohio State will give them all they can, but Cameron Boozer is the National Player of the Year for a reason, and I think he will prevail. I have Kansas and St. John's. If Darren Peterson played like the number 1 overall pick in the NCAA tournament, Kansas would get to the Elite 8. I'm going to say that again. Darren Peterson, if he plays like the number 1 overall pick in clutch time, if the game is close and they play in clutch time, that team will get to the Elite Eight. And with that being said, I'm going to take Kansas being St. John's by 5. All right. South Florida, Michigan. I have South Florida going on a little bit of a run here. Michigan cannot win the big games. Michigan State cannot win the big games. They did it in the Big Ten tournament. They couldn't beat Michigan. They couldn't beat the top teams in the Big Ten. I think they're a fraud. I think that South Florida makes it to the Sweet 16 for the first time in program history. I say the same thing for UCLA. UConn, if you turn them over and you make your shots and play fast pace, you will have a chance to beat UConn. And with that being said, Donovan did. Their coach, UCLA coach, he don't take shit from nobody. And I think that UCLA will beat UConn and go to the Sweet 16. All right, for the Sweet 16, Duke and Kansas, like I just said, if Darren Peterson, if the game is close and Darren Peterson plays like the #1 overall pick, they can make it to the Elite Eight. But with that being said, that's Cameron Boozer, man, and that Duke team is loaded. And I have Duke going to the Elite Eight to face UCLA, South Florida, Donovan Day. Okay, who I got going to the Final Four from here? Duke, UCLA. I gotta go with Duke. The depth, I really think it depends. I really think that Duke, their depth won't hurt them until they get to the Final Four. I think Duke makes it to the Final Four, where I think they get beat. But that's neither here nor now. Okay. Now to the South region, my favorite region. Florida's moving on regardless. Clemson, Iowa. That's a tough one. Let's see how Clemson is doing. With that being said, I don't know too much about these two teams here. I think Clemson wins off my gut, but I wouldn't be surprised if Iowa wins. So I'm gonna go with Clemson. You can say Florida. No, I'm gonna just do it. Vanderbilt and McNeese. Vanderbilt. They beat Florida. They beat Florida to a pulp on Friday. That team is really good. I don't know how they got the five seed. I really thought they should have got the 3 seed. With that being said, I think Vanderbilt beats McNeese single-handedly. Nebraska, I think they beat Troy. North Carolina, VCU. I got VCU. North Carolina has not been playing well. As of lately, after they lost Caleb Wilson, I think they lost. I have Illinois beating Penn. I have St. Mary's beating Texas A&M, and I have Houston beating St. Mary's in the going to the second round. Florida, they're just a machine. They're just a machine. Like Boogie Flan, Hall, Alex Condon, all them dudes, they can ball. My concern is, I'll get into my concerns with them in a minute. But this won't hurt them as they advance to Houston for the Sweet 16. Vanderbilt playing well as any team in the country. Taylor Kinney, those guys, they can make shots. That dangerous team, and they will have a rematch with Florida in the Sweet 16. VCU, Illinois. I don't know too much about this. I don't know too much about these teams. I want to say Illinois wins this game pretty handily. But I don't know too much about these teams. But I think Illinois wins this game handle it and survive, and goes on and face Houston in the Sweet 16. The Sweet 16, I have Vanderbilt beating Florida again because Vanderbilt. I know they did it before, but I have Vanderbilt doing it again because of when you go small on Florida and you make your three, it has to be a good 3-point shooting day for them to have a chance. And I think if they have a chance, I think if they can make that 3-point, if any team can shoot 35 to 40% from three, they have a pretty good shot at winning the game. And you don't turn the ball over and you get stops consistently on defense. Basketball is about a game of runs. From my experience, basketball is a game of runs. Who can make the most runs? Who can get the most stops? Who can execute better? And that's all that matters. And I think Vanderbilt beats Florida and goes to the Elite Eight. Illinois is Houston. This will be a good matchup. Kingston Flemings, Emmanuel Sharp. I'm gonna say this about Houston. If the Houston Cougars want to go far and get to the national championship, Kingston Flemings have to shoot the ball, have to shoot the three. He has to shoot. You can't force Emmanuel Sharp shooting these crazy threes. I like what I'm seeing from JoJo Tugler. I like what I'm seeing from Marius Uzan. All the guys, Chase McCarty will be a big part. If Kingston Flemings can shoot the three, 30% 3-point, if he can shoot the three at least, and he makes 30% of them, the Houston Cougars will be just fine. They will be just fine. With that being said, I think they beat Illinois in their hometown, by the way, and go to the Elite Eight for like the fifth time in 7 years. And I have Houston beating Vanderbilt. This will be an amazing game. But Houston is playing on their home court in Toyota Center, 20 minutes away from campus. I think Houston beats Vanderbilt and goes to the Elite Eight and face Duke again. Whew. Now to do I want to do Midwest or West? Well, I'm gonna make this quick and simple. Arizona is going to the Final Four. I don't care. Arizona's going to the Final Four. One of the best teams in the country, and it's no effect. My only concern with them is when they see Arkansas in the Sweet 16 with Darius Akoff, my twin Trevor Brazil, Malik Thomas. Whew, that's gonna be a good game. But Arizona has size. They have 8 starters. They have the player of your Big 12, Jaden Bradley, that had the game winner over Iowa State, and I think they got Iowa State. I don't think so. I just think they are going to be in the Final Four in Indianapolis. But Villanova, Utah State, Villanova, I love how Kevin Willard has rebuilt that program. Wisconsin, High Point. Wisconsin has been meant that this is another team. If they shoot well from three, they can get to the Sweet 16 Elite Eight. But if they're not shooting the ball well, I think they'd be an early exit, and I have them losing in the round of 32 to Arkansas. But that's gonna be a good game. This is gonna be a good game if it happens. Whew, that's gonna be a good game. BYU, Texas really don't deserve. NC State don't deserve to be in there. They lost five of the last 7 at the end of the game, and at the end of the year, and they still got in the tournament. I have my problems with Texas A&M or Texas A&M and Texas don't deserve to be in there, but the SEC bias is kind of crazy because I don't agree with it. I really don't. I have Gonzaga beating Kindermall State, whoever. But I'm from Miami, Missouri, Miami, Purdue beating Miami, BYU upset. This is where Richard Saunders is going to come in handy. If they have Richard Saunders, I have them beat Gonzaga, but I got to go with the Zags. And I have Gonzaga going to the Elite Eight, getting beat by Arizona. Now to the last bracket. Now to the last part of the bracket. Michigan is going to lose. No, I'm not going to get there yet. But Michigan is not going into the Final Four. Georgia, St. Louis. St. Louis has been on a slide lately. They lost in the quarterfinal. They lost in the semifinals to Dayton. But I don't think they beat Georgia. I don't think they beat Georgia here. Texas Tech, Akron. Texas Tech has figured out who they are without JT Toppin. But I think this is enough to prevail them against Texas Tech. Against Akron, I think Texas Tech can beat Akron. Alabama, Hofstra. Alabama they've been that way since Nate Oates got there. Them boys are shooters. Them boys, high octane offense. Before you look up, they can score 100 on you, just like that. And that high octane offense, I think they beat Hofstra. I got Miami, Ohio winning this game and beating Tennessee. Because 30, yes, I have them winning. Virginia, Wright State, I have Virginia winning. I think Virginia can get to the Final Four with that team. They almost beat Duke last night. I think they learned from their mistakes when they played Duke. They're playing Duke twice, and I think they will get to the Elite Eight. But we're not there yet. I think Kentucky, yes. Iowa State, yes. Iowa State can be a threat if they can. Iowa State can be a threat if everything is falling that day, because they are one of the teams I would not be surprised if they win a national championship or get there. But I think Iowa State gets here. I think Virginia beats out Miami, Ohio to get to the Sweet 16. And in the Sweet 16, to get to the Sweet 16, I have Michigan, I have Alabama. Like I just stated, I have Alabama beating Michigan as well. Michigan, get out. Michigan have wannabe players that plays when they want to play, and that Luxembourg dude, he plays down to his competition. I mean, dude, you're the Big Ten Player of the Year. I mean, he made a big shot the other night, but I feel like he don't play hard enough for me to let me trust him in a clutch game situation to beat a team like Alabama. But I have Alabama getting to the Elite Eight, and with that being said, I have Alabama and Virginia getting there too. Same regions, but Virginia, I think Virginia learned from their lessons, and I think Virginia gets to the Final Four and play Arizona. And in my Final Four, I have Arizona, Virginia, Duke, and Houston. I have Houston getting to the national championship. I'm not being biased. I don't care. But when your backup big is out, and your backup point guard is out, your top two people on the bench is going to come back and bite you. And I think that's what's going to come back and bite Duke. And I got Houston and Arizona, part 3 in the national championship. And I have Houston beating Arizona to finally win a national championship for the first time in program history. If you don't agree with me, let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching No Filter Sports. It's been an honor for me. This has been an honor. My name is Ray Sean, signing out.